I think what I remember most is that I couldn't catch my breath. I just couldn't catch my breath.
He was only 17. He was going to be a senior at Magruder High School.
Her body was dragged for more than a mile, and her body was left.
And I kept on blinking my eyes because I was sure that I was dreaming. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
My name is Leslie Lopez, and I lost my son in a pedestrian accident. It's very quiet now.
Driving a car comes with a lot of responsibilities that most new drivers take for granted. As a driver, you need to pay attention to more than just the other vehicles around you. 1 in 6 people who die in traffic collisions are pedestrians. If you hit a pedestrian, you could kill him.
My name is Brian Schwartz, and I was a driver in a pedestrian accident.
My name is Erwin Mack. I'm chairman of the Montgomery County Pedestrian Traffic and Safety Advisory Committee, and yet suddenly I became a statistic having hit a pedestrian.
Well, started out like any other day, and coming home from work about 9 o'clock at night, I had settled into my ride home, and out of the blue, hit a pedestrian that was in the middle of the road.
I simply saw arms and legs and a body in the windshield of the car. I had no clue whether it was man or woman, young or old.
There are flashbacks. There are moments when you imagine just seconds before impact, and then the sound that the crash makes.
There's no way of describing the feeling of hitting someone.
It sounded like a bomb went off. It was a hard impact.
I thought she was dead.
You know, those things haunt you, I think, forever.
It will be with me for the rest of my life.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about the incident, don't think about the family, and think about what they still must be going through. And yeah, it affects you deeply.
It doesn't have to be this way. There are steps you can take to be a responsible, safe driver and prevent crashes. Be aware. Follow traffic laws. Be patient. Drive carefully and look out for pedestrians. When you're behind the wheel, the first step to keeping pedestrians safe is simply to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of where people might be walking. Pedestrians are not always looking out for cars, so you need to be the one who watches out for them. Make pedestrian safety a priority while driving. Ask yourself, is there a pedestrian hidden from view? Did that pedestrian see me? If the pedestrian suddenly steps into the street, do I have enough time to stop? Pedestrians can unexpectedly appear in the road at any time, day or night. They are at crosswalks, intersections, and street corners. They may be in the road as they get into or out of their parked cars. They're hidden between cars and parking lots. Sometimes they are skateboarding, biking, running, or walking in the street, or right next to it. At night, they can be virtually invisible. Pedestrians are anywhere and everywhere, so keep your eyes open and always be aware. Bicyclists share the road with drivers too. Although bicyclists are required to follow the same laws as drivers, they may not. So if you see a bicyclist in the road, give him plenty of room. Watch his movements and think, what will I do if the bike crosses my path? This will help you both get to where you want to go safely. Being aware of pedestrians includes anticipating their actions. What are they doing as they walk along sidewalks and streets? Most importantly, are they paying attention to you and the other cars around you? The bottom line, it's up to you to look out for pedestrians in any situation. It's up to you to keep them safe. Here are some things pedestrians do that you should look out for. People, especially kids, can walk or run into the road at any time. They may dart across the street at the last minute before a traffic signal changes. Sometimes they don't use crosswalks at all, instead crossing in the middle of the block or between parked cars where you don't expect to see them. Pedestrians can be distracted. While driving, you might see a pedestrian talking or texting on a cell phone. Pedestrians who cross the street while using headphones or Bluetooths can't hear traffic moving or warnings that they may be in danger. They are not paying attention to traffic signals or the vehicles around them. If you can't make eye contact, be extra cautious and give the pedestrian plenty of space to cross safely. You might also see pedestrians walking in groups, daydreaming, or reading while walking. They might react suddenly to something, like dropping a hat or backpack. Never assume these distracted pedestrians see you or will look before crossing the street. Be aware at all times. Slow down. At night or in bad weather, it can be virtually impossible to see pedestrians, especially when they are wearing dark colors. Most pedestrians think you can see them if your car's headlights are shining on them, but that's not the case. The bottom line is, be aware of pedestrians and try to anticipate what they might do so you can react in time. Traffic laws are designed to keep both drivers and pedestrians safe. Knowing these laws is vital in preventing pedestrian collisions. You, the driver, are responsible for avoiding crashes with pedestrians. Here are a few situations that you might find yourself in. When approaching a marked crosswalk or unmarked crosswalk, you must always yield to a pedestrian. It doesn't matter who was there first. In a crash between a car and a pedestrian, it's the pedestrian who gets hurt, regardless of who was right. As a driver, you must stop for anyone crossing the street. If you are on the road with a school bus that's slowing or stopped with blinking red lights, it is against the law to pass the bus in either direction in most cases. Stop. Wait for the school bus to close all doors and turn off its blinking lights before you continue. Otherwise, you risk injuring a child or getting a $500 ticket. Drivers must get out of the way of emergency vehicles such as police cars, ambulances, and fire trucks. When you hear their sirens, slow down, pull to the closest curb, and stop to clear a path for them. If you are turning at a traffic light, you must allow all pedestrians to cross first before you make your turn. If you come to a vehicle that is stopped and you don't know why, don't try to pass. You might not see that there's a pedestrian crossing in the road until it's too late. Wait until the other vehicle continues on. Impatient drivers who break the law and try to pass are a big cause of dangerous pedestrian collisions. Maryland law bans texting while driving. There's no way to text without taking your eyes off the road or one hand off the wheel. In an instant, a pedestrian could be stepping into the road. By following these laws, you can help prevent a collision and prevent injury to yourself and others. Think about it. How much time do you actually save by speeding, accelerating to make every light, racing through stoplights, and dodging in and out of traffic? A couple minutes? Maybe? That's it. So why are you in such a hurry when driving? What's the rush? Those few seconds you gain by driving aggressively can have terrible and lifelong consequences if you hit a pedestrian. Remember, in less than a second, you could kill someone and change your life forever. Most of us overestimate our ability to react. When we are rushing, frustrated, or not paying attention behind the wheel, we don't notice everything around us. This can delay our reaction speed, with potentially tragic consequences. If you find yourself running late for a movie and are speeding, it'll be much harder to slow down and stop in time for a traffic light, stop sign, or a pedestrian. You might not notice the child walking her dog. Should a collision occur, you'll have more important things to worry about than that movie. Being impatient behind the wheel of a moving vehicle is a bad decision. Driving requires your full attention. When you take your eye off the road, even for an instant, you could cause a crash. Thumb through your iPod playlists, talk on the phone, text, or email while driving. Put on makeup or get really involved in talking to your friends, and you may not notice a pedestrian. When you drive. Pay attention and don't get distracted. In an instant, you might hit someone. Not all pedestrians react quickly or predictably when in or near the road. For example, children may dart into the road unexpectedly to chase a ball. Can you react or stop in time? When driving, slow down in neighborhoods and near schools where kids might be present. Some senior citizens may take longer to cross the road. Again, are you going to have time to slow down and stop? Or are you going to be the person who injures or kills someone's grandparent? Children and adults with disabilities often can't react quickly when crossing. Keep an eye out for caution signs like deaf child in neighborhoods. When you see a pedestrian with a guide dog or white cane, the pedestrian is partially or totally blind. You, the driver, must be aware, patient, and prepared to help keep these pedestrians safe. Parking lots are often overlooked places where you need to be especially aware of pedestrians. Notice blind spots in crowded parking lots before you rush to park. Watch for pedestrians walking between parked cars or behind you as you back up. Yield to pedestrians as you pull into driveways or entrances to lots or garages. Don't cut through parking lots to save a few seconds. There are other special situations where you need to pay extra attention to pedestrians who might not be able to see you or react in time. Anticipate the unexpected, like a dog walker who might not have total control of their new puppy. Or late-night partiers whose judgment might be impaired by a few too many drinks. Drivers need to be especially attentive around these pedestrians and others whose behavior or situation require extra caution. It's up to you when you're in the driver's seat. You just might save a life.
Driving is a privilege, not a right.
Sharing the road means respecting the lives of others.
About 75,000 pedestrians are injured or killed every year in the U.S.
A pedestrian is injured every 8 minutes, and one is killed every 2 hours.
Be aware.
Follow traffic laws.
Exercise patience.
Drive carefully and look out for pedestrians.
Like me.